Back. How we doing? Got to run and get that monster. How we doing? We juicing? Previously on Kimba TV. So I have like 44 Bitcoin on MEXC. I probably have 200 Bitcoin now across Kraken, BingX, MEXC. So make sure you mark that on your calendar. March 20th is FOMC, and I'm gonna be doing a streamathon, and we're gonna do a big ass giveaway. Well, a bunch of lions are already in longs. For me, I'm trying to see if it actually starts to spend time above the 382 and the 05. Mosley says, do you still look at 7-8 for a long attempt? That is a negative. Remember, Mosley, it's not just about identifying a level, okay? You should still have a bullish edge. All right, Mosley? So you instead of asking me, hey, are you still looking at 7-8 for a long attempt? You should be telling me things like, hey, you know, the 5-minute regular bull div, is that good enough for a long attempt? The level, anybody can really find a level, Mosley. It's really more about, is it really bullish or not? And do you have an edge that you can rely on? Everybody see what's going on? So if you're in a long, what would you like to see? Or if you're in a long and you're hoping that the hidden bull div plays out, what would you like to see? If you're in a short, what would you like to see? All right, we haven't had a full rotation play in a long time, but it's right in front of your face. Shredded Island says, how many people asked about Kimba's position so far? Ooh, no, I don't know if anybody has, but I showed the stop loss so many times. I think people know that I'm still in it. You guys know? You guys want the exo or you want to see the position? I can only, it's either or because of the way that the OBS is window capturing. Hobo, what's going on, Hobo? Lupo, what's going on? Carol's pet. I got you, Carol. Hold on a second, Carol. There you go, Carol. It's NSW, Hobo, Azaz, Hugh Hunt, Token Goof, Liamzi, Azaz. Kimba, do you think it is a good long here? Yeah, it kind of makes me want to hedge long, maybe. I mean, you guys see it, right? Like the hidden bull divs, it's bouncing off the daily. So if you do something like this, get back inside range, PDEQ, bullish retest, makes a higher high. Yeah. But we've seen this so many times. I hope you guys have an idea of how to play this. The only problem with doing it again is that it went back inside the range and it already failed out. So that would be my hesitation because, you know, once you get inside, worst case scenario for it to, let me close some of these tabs. For it to, get back inside, it should have bounced here. It should have bounced and continued. It lost, and now it's struggling to get back in. So, yeah. I mean, we're all saying the same thing. Cremo says, you think we drop below 60K? I don't know about dropping below 60, but I would probably TP a little bit at 60. You know what I'm saying? Not financial advice. Rooney says, I know, but I'm on a long. Yeah, so if you are in a long, brother, you cannot lose that daily open. You know, because you're just making lower lows and you're basically turning everything into resistance. So this is the way that I look at it, Rooney. And like you've seen this shit hundreds of times with me, so just kind of remember what we've seen in the past, okay? daily opens below value area high. It breaks into it and it starts going. It turned PDEQ into support, but the fact that it couldn't even get the PDPOC is a big concern. It should have gotten rejected there, do a bullish retest here, and then try to go for the previous day value area high, right? That's what we normally see when we see these things hundreds of times. You couldn't even get the PDPOC. You got rejected at the golden pocket. So anytime, do you know how like I always talk about prioritizing volume over anything else, and how volume comes first for me, time-based levels come second for me, and then mathematical levels come third? So in my opinion, if a Fibonacci level has resistance and it doesn't even get to PDPOC, that's pretty bearish, because I would feel like it should respect the volume first. It front ran the volume node. Think about that. Where it had the most amount of volume, it couldn't even get there to see if there was a decision to be made. And then you lost the PDEQ, turned the PDEQ and the monthly point of control into resistance. You lost previous day value area high, and you're now starting to maybe think about turning that into resistance. You can't lose daily open. And then obviously think about all the stops that this would trigger. So that's about it, Rooney. But the good news is, Rooney, is that you know what it is. It's not about being right or wrong. You know, no one can predict the future. So as long, I'm sure you have your stop loss and break even or take small profit. So I love that you took a shot, but structurally it's not that great, right? Token Goof says, are you looking to add on retrace to 75786? Are you talking about my short? Do you know how did you watch the highlights and whatnot? Like, so you already know that my position is pretty satisfactory, you know? So am I adding on the short? No. And like on my MEXC, for example, I can't even make it any bigger than this here. Somebody go tell the haters. Somebody let them know I'm juicing. I'm up 8K on fees and 73K on the paper trade, y'all. We don't fly private jets. We fly paper airplanes, y'all. Let's get them triggered today, boys. I want more chatter about Kimba. Its NSW says 797 million OI Delta. Lord have mercy. I know, right? It's NSW. And do you remember when we used to talk about like 500 million in open interest, and then what we can really see when we have like a billion? Remember when we talked about $1 billion in open interest? That's when you start seeing like $4,000, $5,000, $10,000 candles. Sheesh. Yeah, I mean, there's a hidden bull div, golden pocket, bulls you really wouldn't want to lose the daily open. Okay? You had a full rotation play though. So it went back above value area low. It went to monthly point of control. It should have gone to PDPOC. It got rejected at golden pocket. And then after getting rejected at a mathematical level instead of a volume level, which by that definition alone is pretty bearish, it lost monthly point of control and turned PDEQ into resistance, lost the value area low, turned that bitch, or right now it's looking like it's trying to make it, turning it into resistance. It's confirmed as a resistance when it makes a lower low. So if you're bullish, then and you're hoping that the hidden bull div, hidden CVD bull div, what you see this, right? If you're bullish and you're hoping that the hidden CVD bull div plays out on the golden pocket, then just basically you just need to get above previous day value area low. Most likely do a bullish retest, getting rejected off of the PDEQ, and then try to get on over to the value area high. But that's about it, Rack. You know, remember, I give you literally to the T what I would do for TA, Rack, right? Identify your levels and then see what kind of edge you have when you get to that level. Okay, so the daily open and the previous day value area low coincides pixel perfect between the golden, what did I just say? The daily open and the previous day value area low, which is a very crucial level for full rotation plays, is coinciding perfectly with the 618 and the 05. Alrighty, and then on the RSI, CVD, you have like hidden bull divs. You should see it. We're all looking at the same shit. Alrighty, so I hope that helps you out. But identify levels, know where the volume node is, the TPO levels, the Fibonacci levels, and then see if there's any edge. See if it holds. Try to decide if you want to get into a position and front run it or if you want to wait until confirmation. Some people are going to be like, fuck it, man. I want this entry. I'm going to enter now, or I'm going to take the daily open long and I'm going to front run that it's going to turn value area low into support, and I have an awesome entry outside of value area low. So if it does a bullish retest, I don't have to get stopped out. You know, some people will say, nah, this is too risky. We've already went into the range before. We turned all the shit that should have been support into resistance. I'm going to wait for a swing failure pattern to long. It's so look at the data, look at the edge, and then anticipate. You also know that it's Friday, right? DJ Cool says, do you ever use 886 as a confluence to enter instead of stop? Absolutely. Absolutely. Yesterday, we were just talking about the modified Kimba box. Traditional Kimba box is 618 to 786. The modified Kimba box is 786 to 886. Why do you think, like, I don't know, 40, 50 of you guys have a short from the 886 from yesterday? Ascenti, what's going on? Happy weekend, Barry. Thank you for the raid, Barry. Cremo says, where is your TP? Like probably around 60K. Yeah, or again, if this goes here, and turns value area low into support, I'm probably going to close it and get out. Madman says, I missed my long by $7 on that golden pocket. That's all right. That's all right, Madman. One Apothe says, well, open interest while ranging on 1 hour. Can you explain us what could that mean? If it's nothing. The CVD hidden bull div is what you want to pay attention to, not so much the open interest. Yeah, I like to pay attention to the open interest as it's going to a certain level and when it gets to a certain level. I don't really care so much about the open interest while it's ranging. You know, coupling that with like a CVD can help you understand absorption or exhaustion, but yeah, I only really care about the open interest as we're moving, not when it's ranging and it's just not moving, if that makes sense. Hack Dog, what's going on? Let me get you subbed up. Bugatti. Everybody Gucci? Zark says, when do you think is the right time to move the stop loss to break even after entering position? Whatever you feel like it's acceptable to you, Zark. So by the book would say that when it makes a new higher high or a lower low, obviously depending on if you're in a long or a short, but when it breaks the previous local higher high or higher low, that's when I move the stop loss to break even. But that's just by the book. You should try hundreds, thousands of different places where you would put your stop loss at break even or when you would, and see which one makes you the most amount of money, Zark. Because you have to understand that certain things like where your entry is and how you got into your entry and what your invalidation would be kind of factors in. So the book says when the structure locally changes, then you should move it to break even. But if you find a better way, if you find a more profitable way, that's ultimately what you want to do, Zark. So so I'll give you an example. Gentlemen, talk to me, gentlemen. Who juicing? Ladies and gentlemen. Excuse me. Thangity thang thang. Thangity thang thang. Let's get a little crypto with it. You know what? God damn it, the magnetizer is fucking me up. Oh, well, look at that. Don't be mad at me if I show up with a 67,000 short. I see you, Lee Kwok. And you know what that is, right, Lee Kwok? Lee Kwok, do you know what that is? Don't be mad at me. Don't be mad at us. Beitayo says, I'm still juicing on a 42K long. Attaboy, Beitayo. Which YouTube highlight has the most validity for you right now? Oh man, I don't know. I would actually say neither really. I think it's better to just watch all of them for the narration. But it's the weekend, and you know, we're gonna have our first full week of March next week, and then after that it's going to be CPI, and then the week after that is FOMC. So usually what that means is obviously the CPI Friday, the weekly options expirations is going to be a big deal. The week before that, so the week that's coming up, usually is to build out positions for the S&P. And then did you see this, Beitayo? So this is no longer relevant, obviously, because this is 0-day data and the markets are already closed. But the all expirations, do you see this? Pretty interesting at 5150 and 5200. That's the standard +1 standard deviation. I think 5200 is for sure in the works. So now that doesn't mean that you immediately get into a long, right? So the two easiest assumptions right now, Beitayo, if those gammas still stay there, and if anything, I think they're going to get bigger. But if we pull back down and the gammas are still there on S&P, I think that's a long to the 5200. If we don't go back and grab any of the imbalances or gaps on the CME futures for S&P, then the 5200 might be a short. So that's all I can come up with the data that I have now. Obviously, as soon as the gammas change, what I just said goes out the window, and the new data-driven assumptions would come into play. But as of right now, if we start to pull back a little bit and the 5200 gamma is still there, then I'm probably going to try to get into a long before FOMC. If we get to 5200 before FOMC, I'm probably going to have to short the 5200. And obviously, I'm not going to do anything unless I have edge. Right, so that's sort of like the anticipatory blueprint, but in the end, I'm gonna have to continue to watch gammas, especially next week when the week opens. And even if it goes to the level that I'm looking at, like 5200, if I don't have an edge, I'm not taking it. So, and I'll probably take a shot on BingX so that we can start showing some S&P trades. Barry says 5150 lines up with 1618 expansion as well, for sure. And another thing to think about too is when Goldman, Bank of America, Merrill Lynch, all these investment banks and hedge funds were talking about 5100 as the target. When did we start talking about 5100 as the target? That was like December, January, right? We started talking about 5100 in January. If you remember, the reason why they had that projection is because they thought June is when they would start doing rate cuts. But anyways, yeah. Well, so I think we'll continue to nerd out, and when we get closer to FOMC and see what CPI is like, hopefully I'm in a position before FOMC. Always long says Goldman revised projection to 52. Yes, and that I think that was a couple weeks ago, right? Always long. But are they just staring at my Bugama channel or what? Are they just staring at the Bugama channel or what? You guys are the fucking best, man. Hey, Santo, tell them what happens if they don't use stop loss. Gacho Shiba. All right, I'm out of here. Hey, I'm putting on the exo back on. All right, peace, everybody.